have garlic fries. Don't have SF in your name if you don't have garlic fries.
That's a little harsh.
People want their garlic fries, man. I'm not mad at the 510. But Brandon Aiyuk, because I've heard a lot over the last month about the Brandon Aiyuk situation. We've been back and forth as a fan base. Now, I've never believed that he's replaceable. Some of the rhetoric around Brandon Aiyuk is like, oh, you just give him up for nothing. Just get rid of him. We'll be fine. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, we asked Baldy the same thing. Is Brandon Aiyuk irreplaceable on this offense? Here's what Baldy had to say.
You lose Brandon Aiyuk, okay, you're going to put Danny Gray out there? Like, what are you putting out? Juwan Jennings? What are you putting out there? Nobody. There's nobody they're going to get that can run a route like Brandon Aiyuk. There's probably nobody they're going to get that blocks like he does. They don't beat Detroit without that catch down the middle of the field. They simply don't make that comeback. That triggered the whole thing, that catch off the safety in that play. There's a reason why he's holding out. He thinks he's a pure number one, and he is. He's a real number one wide receiver. And they love to attack the middle of the field. That's their offense. That's where the ball wants to go. And if you're going to attack the middle of the field, you better have some fearless players. Not everybody is as fearless as Debo and Aiyuk going across the middle.
He's right. And I think this is where everybody. I think the team, I think myself, we're all exhausted over this whole thing. And did Debo do some stuff when he was going there? Yeah, he did. He did. Remember, there's the whole him at the bar with the sparklers.
At the club. He was thirst flashing.
I'm looking at, and Sam, you did a great job on this. I'm looking at this Brandon Aiyuk timeline. Look, can we just go down this time? It's been exhausting. February 13th. He said he'd be back if it was the right move. And then right after his friend posted a video criticizing Aiyuk's targets, and that's not his fault, but that happened, right? And then his girlfriend ends up posting, this might be the last time we touch Levi's grass.
She's not lying. It might be the last time.
Okay, that was in February. Then in March, this is what happened in the month of March. The Aiyuk deal will be done after free agency. That's what Rap Sheet said. And then the 15th, there's interest between the Jaguars and Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah,
and then,
we had Mia O'Brien on, and she said it was real.
Exactly.
It was real. And then all of a sudden, I'm randomly watching LSU Pro Day, and our guy Brian Thomas from Jacksonville, whoever it was sitting there with him, I forgot who was interviewing him, but they said, an executive told me that you remind them of Brandon Aiyuk. I was like, well, they're not going to trade for Brandon Aiyuk now. They're just going to draft the guy they think he's Brandon Aiyuk.
On a rookie deal. Then a few days after that, he shouts out his twin, Mike Tomlin. What? What? And then a couple days after that, Lynch says...
Hold on. Well, because there was a rumor, it's like, Brandon Aiyuk looks like Mike Tomlin, blah, 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 blah. So he just shouted out his twin. He shouted him out. He knew what he was doing.
Exactly.
It's all good. We all troll.
Late March. Okay, Lynch says he wants Aiyuk to be a part of the 49ers. And then on the 29th, he goes on the Nightcap podcast and says that Brandon Aiyuk does, he just wants his value.
Yeah, so the Nightcap podcast, he also got asked, who's a better quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance? And he said Trey Lance in less than 2 seconds.
I mean, it's okay. Then on April 1st, 2 days after that, the Garoppolo comes out and says, the 49ers and Aiyuk are really far apart. 10 days later, he unfollows the 49ers on Instagram, and then chaos ensues. He requests a trade to his agent, Schefter. Aiyuk cares more about getting paid than actually playing football. Then the whole week of the draft, there's speculation he's going to get traded. We're not even through April. There's 11 things. And then they obviously go on to not only not trade him, they draft a wide receiver in the first round.
Well, he was okay
with
it.
That's BS, man.
He texted John Lynch to say it was a fire pick. He was happy about it. He's like, fire pick. That was his boy, former teammate Ricky Pearsall, Arizona State.
Then the team, John Lynch, comes out, in May and says, on McAfee, hey, we're past the Debo and Aiyuk trade talks. June 4th, not at minicamp. Now, he's not the only one, but given the 15 things I said prior to this, it was news. Then on June 17th, he says, they don't want me back on TikTok. So now we're on multiple platforms, talking all over the place. Later in June, he requests a meeting with the 49ers. In July, he requests a trade.
A week before training camp. Now, to his credit,
we're not even done. We haven't even gotten through August.
But yeah, we know what happened in August. Look, June 24th, he requested to meet with the Niners, and they all met up. And it was all assumed that, hey, they got to the table. This is good. They're going to get to the table. Now, he pulled his last negotiating tactic by saying, I want to trade. Now, to his credit, he still showed up to the facility. He's still there. He's still there.
So that was August 1st. I guess July 23rd, he shows up and holds in.
Yep.
August 1st is the handshake hug. The handshake hug, where we all thought a deal was going to be done. Bro, it's August 13th, and nothing has happened.
So is that all on Brendan Aiyuk?
No, nothing's ever on one guy. It takes two to tango when it comes to these negotiations. What I'm saying is I'm exhausted by this timeline. There's like 35 things that have happened this offseason. Are you not?
No, I'm not exhausted. It's NFL football. It's pro football, baby. This ain't the first rodeo we've been in.
This is different than Bosa was kind of out of sight, out of mind.
But Bosa didn't show up to anything. We just didn't know what the hell Bosa was doing. And then his mom came on the stage and said, he's in great shape, blah, blah, blah. He's phenomenal. And then next thing you know, he's midway through the season, he's throwing Steve Wilkes under the bus talking about I'm experimenting with new moves.
More tumultuous offseason with this week 1 matchup. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Hassan Reddick. It's the Jets, obviously. Saleh. Or the 49ers with the best left tackle holding out now and seemingly not coming back, and the second team All-Pro and Brandon Aiyuk holding out.
It's the Niners.
Because this is just Jets.
Exactly.
This is price of doing business with the New York Jets.
The Hassan Reddick thing is so weird. Like, why
they
trade
knew they traded for him.
That makes no sense to me.
So, so now we got Trent Taylor out there returning punts, and you see Danny Gray's going to get cut ball. He's right. You're going to trot out Danny Gray out there. Watch it. He's going to start next. That's what I'm saying. He is irreplaceable. Sure, the timeline is exhausting, but it's not the first time we've been through something like this. And you know what? It's not going to be the last time we've been through something like this. And quite frankly, thank God for the timeline of Brandon Aiyuk. Think about our jobs. Would you rather talk about Brandon Aiyuk and what he means to the 49ers or what he doesn't mean to the Niners as opposed to the Giants baseball we saw in May? And just sell. And just fire. Honestly, I'd rather talk about this stuff than what I was watching on the Diamond with the San Francisco Giants. It wasn't selling. Our ratings had been in the gutter because of the damn Giants. Brandon Aiyuk, thank the heaven you did all this stuff. You gave us something to talk about.
Yeah, but at some point, I want to talk about actual games. So I hear what you're saying because it's football.
But it's sports radio. The people don't like to hear about the actual games. They want to talk about the drama.
Come on, man. It's
sports radio.
Can we get a resolution? The team needs it. And I'm glad that Baldy just came out and said it. This is a distraction. I know you and I went back and forth on that. And I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think Brock's getting under center, okay, in the middle of it. Let's say he plays this weekend. And he's at the line of scrimmage. He's like, "Hut!" Or what does they say? What a red 42? What is the Jimmy Garoppolo? Because they did the same thing.
The
Green 18?
No, it's not Green 18. I know Dak goes, "Here we go." The Niners do red 18?
Yeah, they do something.
It's something like that. They do the same one, right? Anyway, point being, I don't think he's getting under center, and he's going like, "Oh my God, Brandon Aiyuk's not here. I'm exhausted. I'm thinking about what I'm going to get questioned in the offseason." No, I don't think it's that dire. But I to say that this is that it has no effect on the team, that's crazy.
Well, I'm kind of with Keeping the Faith here on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First NorCal Financing at the dealer. I'm with Keeping the Faith. Anything 49ers related? Giants baseball talk. And the Niners, because we didn't know if it was going to be B.A. or Deebo Samuel being traded. And then we get Ricky Pearsall. We actually got to interview Ricky Pearsall. We came up with the list of what we should show. What should Ricky Pearsall experience? Now, right now, he's probably just experienced the hot tub and the cold tub and get his hamstrings right and get his shoulder right and get on the practice field. So that's one thing. But, B.A. kind of saved the summer. Because if we just zoom out here, and I know we got to get our emotions are in play here. We want them on the field. We want to resolve as a fan. But just zooming out, the businessman, this is where businessman Bonte comes into play. The Warriors didn't make the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
They got knocked out in the playing game. So we talked about that until we're blue in the face. Clay this, Clay that, Draymond this, Draymond that. Steph, what he's going to want. Pajimski come in, good trades. Paul George, Lowry marketing. That was pretty damn exhausting. But boy, with the Giants scuffling and their inability to hit with runners in scoring position, the Warriors all season and the Niners all season, same summer. So the businessman in me is saying, you know what? Thank you, Brandon Aiyuk, for the content. Now, am I exhausted as a fan? Sure. But I'm exhausted in this sense. I'm exhausted not so much about whether or not he's going to go to Pittsburgh or whether or not he deserves the money. It's how I've heard from a lot of Niner fans saying that he is simply replaceable. he's the fourth option in the offense. I'm saying, fourth option in the offense. He may be the greatest fourth option in NFL history outside of Isaac Bruce with the greatest show on turf. That's what's been exhausting is the dilution of Brandon Aiyuk's value to this football team. We just basically say, yeah, we could just find anybody to put him in Brandon Aiyuk's spot. Are we sure about that? We want to go through that? That would be exhausting, knowing that the passing game is going to suffer without number 11. Now, you need all the parts whole. You need Kittle, you need Debo, you need McCaffrey, you need Trent Williams. We get it. We need all these guys because they're a top-heavy football team. But what's been exhausting is trying to hear people talk themselves into saying, yeah, just let Aiyuk go. He's replaceable. And then we get Baldy on the show, and he breaks down film like everybody else. Now, he's not right about everything, but he says this about Brandon Aiyuk.
You lose Brandon Aiyuk, okay, you're going to put Danny Gray out there? Like, what are you putting out? Juwan Jennings? What are you putting out there? Nobody. There's nobody they're going to get that can run a route like Brandon Aiyuk. There's probably nobody they're going to get that blocks like he does. They don't beat Detroit without that catch down the middle of the field. They simply don't make that comeback. That triggered the whole thing. That catch off the safety in that play. There's a reason why he's holding out. He thinks he's a pure number one, and he is. He's a real number one wide receiver. And they love to attack the middle of the field. That's their offense. That's where the ball wants to go. And if you're going to attack the middle of the field, you better have some fearless players. Not everybody is as fearless as Debo and Aiyuk going across the middle.
So that's what we're facing right now.
But Bonte, just because a couple people online anonymously with avatar eggs are saying that quote unquote replaceable, I think it's more.
No, it's not that.
And what is it?
It's not that. I get a lot of people.
The majority of Niner fans are like, I really want the player, but
I'll look at my text thread. I got two diehard Niner fans that I've been knowing for a long, long time. Umair and Sheldon Shumpter.
Okay.
I respect dearly. Sheldon Shumpter played college football, and I've been going back with Sheldon Shumpter, and he goes, man, Aiyuk's replaceable. He's replaceable. Let him go. Let him go. Aiyuk should be paid. He balled out for us. I just don't think he's as good as he think he is.
Well, that's a different.
A lot of people have said trade him. No, but a lot of people have said that we can find other guys who do what Aiyuk does. It ain't just eggs on Twitter. I know who I talk to. I know who I talk to in my everyday life. There's a lot of people I talk to saying that he is replaceable, Shasky. I've heard a lot of it from Niner fans.
I don't think anyone's like, Trent Taylor can replace Brandon Aiyuk.
Nobody's saying that, but they're saying that
I think Aiyuk, the question is this. It's very simple. It's like, he's really good, but we're tired of hearing him talk about an extra million and the team balk over an extra million here and there, if that's what it ends up ultimately being. We're exhausted with that. And so I do believe the majority of people are like, if it's going to be this big of a hassle, like, you're a really good player, you're not that great. And I think that's where people come down. Like, you're really good. I think it's really difficult to find your replacement. But if you're going to be all of this and all this, like 35 things in an offseason, like, my goodness.
It's not just him, though.
I've tapped out.
It's not just him. It's the 49ers organization for misplaying their hand.
Oh, it's both.
You should have traded him at the draft. You should have traded him.
Well, you don't get rid of good players if you don't have to.
Yeah, but you should. If you're going to try to get rid of them now and thinking that you're going to get a premium player back, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Not you, but I'm saying the 49ers.
But we don't know what the sticking point is. Like, again, so like this is where the whole misnomer is. Like, is he demanding 28.5 guaranteed in year one? And
TJ Husmanzada saying he's on 28, and they won't budge off of 26. We can't meet in the middle. That's what we're saying.
Well, I guess where fans are left is they're like, well, wait a minute, like, Cleveland's a winning team, and they're offering you apparently $28 million. Is it really just all about the end dollar? Because you're not going to make that here.
It's probably about living in Cleveland. A little bit of that. It's like,
you also get to play with Kyle Shanahan, and you get to play with Brock Purdy, and you get to play with CMC and Debo. Like, it goes both ways. I don't think it's a take it or leave it.
But what I'm saying is, so I threw up a poll the other day. Who's to blame for this situation? Is it Brandon Aiyuk? Is it the 49ers front office? Or is it both parties? And 52% said it was both parties. 24%
I agree with that.
Said both the front office and Aiyuk. So they were split down the middle with that. So, look, I'm just exhausted. I want to get the damn deal done, and I want Aiyuk to go out there and ball out because he is very important to this
Absolutely.
offense. And all I'm saying is, in my life, it's not Twitter, because when it comes to Twitter, who cares? There's a lot of idiots on Twitter. There's idiots all the time. All right? There's idiots every day. that tweets at me about God knows what, and they want to be disrespectful. That's my Twitter timeline. So I don't really give a damn about Twitter. I'm talking about my everyday life. When I talk to most 49er fans, my 49er fans who are diehard fans just like you, Shasky, he can go bye-bye. We don't need him. He's a byproduct of having all pros on the team. And I'm like, damn, like that? We finally get a receiver to pop in the first round, and it's bye-bye, he can go.
Well, if you're going to be this big of a headache, I think that's it's not just, it's not like Kinlaw. Like, Kinlaw was replaceable. Like, you know what I mean? Solomon Thomas was replaceable. Clearly, Trey Lance was replaceable, right? Brandon Aiyuk is not, quote-unquote, replaceable by any player, but you're not as good as you think you are, dude. Like, you're really good, but you're not that good. Like,
second-team All-Pro good.
For 1 year.
Well, he's back-to-back 1,000-yard receivers. He had a 1,000-yard season with 3 different quarterbacks, and we're just going to scoff at that around
We're
here?
not scoffing at it. We're just saying that, like, to get paid $30 million a year or $28 million a year, those guys have 3-4 seasons that are elite. Not just one. Not 2 good years in a row. 3 or 4 in a row.
The fact that he produced a second-team All-Pro season on a team that was last in pass attempts,
it's great.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but then when
and I think we're overlooking that.
No one's overlooking that. That's that's why he's getting offered $26 million. If he was getting offered 19, then I'd say, yeah, they're really overlooking him.
Tim Kawakami just reported 14 minutes ago. The Aiyuk side and the 49er side, from everything I've heard lately, remain unhappy with the way each has approached this. Still could come to an agreement, but it is unlikely to be all hugs and buddy-buddy. Now, this is after Diana Rossini from the Athletic said, could the Niners and Steelers bring in a third team to facilitate a Brandon Aiyuk trade? Diana Rossini doesn't rule it out. So there could be a 3-team trade that happens.
How many 3-team trades in the NFL in the last 5 or 10 years? I can't even think of one.
You got to Google it.
Can you? Like, off the top of your head, I can't think of one.
Who would that third team be?
The Raiders? Devontae? Now, if I told you were getting Devontae,
no, of course I'd be jacked up about it. I mean, it's Devontae Adams. I'd be jacked up with Amari Cooper.
Given the package, the total package, if it's a second rounder, Cooper, I'd be happy. I wouldn't be jacked up. I'd just be like,
jacked up. I got a player, and the situation's over. And I got Amari Cooper,
but I still got to see.
Comparable.
I still got to see, like, does Coop want more money? You know,
he does.
Can Coop learn the playbook on time? Like that. Sometimes things don't work out as well as we think they're going to.
Well, I mean,
on paper it looks good.
I'd rather have Amari Cooper than no player at all. Going into the season with Pearsall and Jennings and Conley at the X is a problem. Both. So get this guy in the camp, get the damn deal done, and let's make this happen. We're quibbling over a couple $1 million here.
That's what it feels like.
Now it's, you can stretch this out. You could, and I've said this from last year when everybody was talking about
time for illegal.
You can't have Debo in now. You could have both of them. I'm like, you can construct and structure the deal in the way where it doesn't hit the cap right away. You can do that.
Who's this third team helping the Niners?
I don't know. Listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMG